You just got your first proper job. Your first real paycheck finally hits your account. You do exactly what your parents and teachers told you to do. You go to the bank, open a standard savings account, and deposit $5,000. You walk out feeling responsible, but you have absolutely no idea what just happened to your money. You picture your cash sitting in a steel vault with your name on it. The reality is entirely different. The second your $5,000 hits the counter, it legally stops being yours. On the bank's balance sheet, your deposit is a liability, a debt they owe you. But your physical cash becomes their asset, and they deploy it immediately to make themselves richer. By law, banks only hold a small percentage of your cash in reserve, usually around 10%. They keep $500 in the vault and lend out the remaining $4,500 the exact same day. A portion goes into a mortgage at 7% interest. Another funds a personal loan at 15%. A huge chunk covers credit card swipes, charging 25%. The bank collects all of that interest continuously while paying you an insulting 1%. That massive gap is their profit margin. It is exactly how banks make billions, turning depositors into unpaid lenders. And the machine goes deeper. The person who borrowed your money spends it. That cash lands in a new bank, and that bank keeps 10% and lends out the rest. Your original $5,000 deposit multiplies through the financial system, generating up to $50,000 in total lending activity. You get your tiny 1% on the initial deposit, the banks collect massive interest on $50,000. If you look for better options inside the branch, you realize they all exploit your capital. Checking accounts pay zero interest, allowing the bank to invest your money for free. Standard savings pay around 1% because they know you will leave it untouched for years. Certificates of deposit pay slightly more, but lock your money away under the threat of financial penalties. High-yield savings accounts at online banks are better for holding an emergency fund, but none of these accounts actually build wealth. What they actually do with your checking account happens while you sleep. Because you use this account to pay daily bills, you assume the money just sits there waiting for your debit card to swipe. Instead, banks use automated sweep programs. At the close of the business day, their computers sweep the excess cash from millions of checking accounts into overnight investment vehicles or lend it to other financial institutions. They earn interest on your zero-yield money all night and then sweep the funds back into your account fractions of a second before the bank opens the next morning. They harvest the overnight yield while you earn absolutely nothing. They also weaponize your checking account against you through fees. If you accidentally spend $10 more than you have, the bank covers the transaction but hits you with a $35 overdraft fee. They use the massive pool of free capital provided by other depositors to lend you that $10 for a few days. Charging $35 for a short-term $10 loan translates to an annualized interest rate of several thousand%. You provide them the free funding, and they use it to penalize you the moment you make a math error. The bank also plays a secondary game with your money called securitization. When they take your deposit and turn it into a mortgage or an auto loan, they do not always wait 30 years to collect the interest. They bundle thousands of these loans together into a massive package and sell that package to Wall Street investors. The bank collects a large upfront fee for originating the loan, offloads the risk of the borrower defaulting, and immediately frees up capital to start the cycle all over again. Your initial deposit is just the raw material they use to manufacture debt products for institutional buyers. The silent thief draining your accounts is inflation. While your $5,000 sits safely earning a tiny amount of interest, the cost of living rises. If inflation runs at 3% and your account grows by 1%, you mathematically lose purchasing power every single year. After 10 years, the number on your screen looks bigger, but it buys far less in the real world. The banking system relies entirely on you focusing on the nominal number instead of the actual value of your labor. If you leave your $5,000 in a savings account earning 1.5% for 30 years, You end up with about $7,800, completely crushed by 3 decades of inflation. If you take that exact same money and put it into a broad market index fund, historically returning an average of 8%, it becomes approximately $50,000. By holding productive assets instead of fiat currency, your money multiplies and outpaces the rising cost of living.